Okay, good morning. JC Greenberg, Deputy Fire Chief here at Napa County and CAL FIRE in this local unit of Sonoma-Lake-Napa. Since the start of this fire, we've been talking with the community, with cooperators about all the fuels reduction work that's been going on here in Napa County for the last 5 years, really since the post-2020 fires, our reorg and bolstering of Napa Firewise, our partners here, the local unit, and really the public in general here in Napa. And that the importance of this is really building a resiliency and being ready for a fire that we saw of the Pickett incident. So what we've done over the last couple of days is combined all the works that's been completed here in Napa County that's in and irrelevant to the Pickett fire, how we utilize these lines, what these fuel treatments are. We want to describe to you how we actually leverage these assets in actually getting containment in the Pickett incident. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. I'll give you a brief and tour around the map of what these look like, what our plans are for the future, and really how these assets right here is helping us in Napa County. First off, I really want to talk about how all this came together. And we've been talking about relationships, cooperators, of bringing everyone together because it does take the community to make this happen. These projects can be quite costly, but the investment is well worth the damages that we've experienced over the last several years here. So bringing the money together, the grants, having a central focal point of our Napa Firewise board of directors, our CEO, their staff, actually seeing this day to day. That is their mission here. We work with them. We're partnered with them for this vision and where these strategic lines are going to be. Some of these funding partners, and I'm going to talk through several of these entities, and there are others outside of here, but it's our County of Napa Board of Supervisors. They are believers in this. They have brought county dollars to these projects year after year to make sure that we stay on this track. CAL FIRE grants that we've applied to at the state level, working through our local unit, advocating for these funds to be brought back here to Napa. We've been very successful. And we've also used the local unit resources to help on these fuel reduction projects, whether it's engines, the dozers, burning piles during the winter. Getting these fuel reductions projects taken care of, it takes a lot of resources to do that. California Fire Safe Councils at the state level. Senator Dodd did a private donation for us, fundraiser here in the community, and people showed up. They brought in over $1 million to help us with these fuel reduction projects. We've also been successful in our FEMA grants. Our Valley Stewards Fund out of Napa Firewise, we've been able to start putting dollars into there, and we're looking forward to the future dollars. So this is a new entity that's being built and helping out this resiliency here in Napa County. The Napa Firewise group as a whole, they are diligent on the ground every day, chasing every grant that's out there. And if we're unsuccessful, we're taking the applications and we are 100% successful, just somewhere else, a different avenue pot of funds. So great work on them, orchestrating the day-to-day, working with the landowners to get the agreements in place to allow us to come do this work. It's really taken everybody here to come together for this. Our Napa Ventners, a huge donor, a believer, supporter of this project. We've talked about their $1.4 million they brought to Napa Firewise to put in dozer lines, limited access roads, help us with another purchase acquisition of another dozer. We've seen the great success in this, and we look forward to maintaining and doing more of that work in the future. Napa Land Trust, they are one of the largest landowners in Napa County, and they have the lands and we have the identified locations where the work needs to be done. So appreciate their support in getting future projects done. Our Napa County Fire Marshal's office has been there every step of the way. Eric Hernandez, who you've seen around this incident on camera, bringing information down, working with landowners. The whole group at the Fire Marshal's office has been great. Our Napa County Fire Department volunteers, once again, they have been there. We reach out. We're going to do prescribed burns, pile burning projects. Our volunteers are believers. They're the end users when these fires happen to use these pre-existing lines when the fire happens. They've been great help all winter, all spring long, helping us on these projects. The Pacific Union College and their large parcel up there out of Angwin, our partners over at PG&E. Year after year, we apply for grants. They're there for us, supporting us, working in their current fuel reduction projects, leveraging those to where we can kind of tag and extend, bringing money into Napa Firewise so that we can get this work done. And last, I want to end with the private donations from the community, the fire safe councils that have brought in dollars for us to get work done, and all of our partner industry agencies here that continue to support us through this work. They're believers in there. We're proud of what we've done to help keep these fires at bay and utilize these lines. So the next thing I want to do is we're going to talk about different types of fuel reduction. So we hear this term on there, but what are we actually doing? There's a couple different items I'm going to talk about is roadside fuel reductions. So asphalt county roads, state highways, and we're removing the fuels off of the buffer of those. So obviously asphalt doesn't burn, so part of our work's already done. But those roads are the evac routes in and out of Napa County. Very important that we can work with our sheriff's partners and evacuate the residents without them getting burned or trapped. And so part of the roadside fuel reduction solution is going 30 to 100 feet on both sides of the asphalt roadway to reduce the fuels. And this isn't clear cutting. What this is just removing the fuels, raising up the canopies so that the fire intensity, the BTUs, are not hitting the vehicles when they're trying to evacuate. So we've put a lot of priority into identifying these key roads out of the communities, getting this work done so that we can have safe evacuation. But also on the other side, it's the ingress of the firefighters. So we have to protect them. We have to get them into these areas so they can actually make access to the fires. Shaded fuels reductions. These are large parcels, 30 to 100 acres, where once again, this isn't a logging clear cut operation. This is removing all the ground fuels, leaving the trees into place and limiting them up 15 to 20 feet. So as the fire passes through, it goes underneath. The trees remain present and not damaged during the fire. It reduces the intensity and it still leaves it like a park-like setting for aesthetics and the environmental factors as well. Dozer containment lines. So this is something we're definitely going to talk to the map on where these lines are, where they're located and how they were valuable during the picket fire. But this is actually looking at the topography where we as the fire department can hold fire on these ridge lines, spur ridges, and we've had success in previous fires and where we want to maintain those in the future. So this is very important and it came into play on this fire. And the last thing we're going to look at is what's called limited access roads. So these are the arteries that get into the dozer lines, the ingress from the main road areas so that we can traverse, get our engines, our crew buses, our water tenders, our dozers. If these roads aren't opened up before the fire starts, that means our priority is we have to find dozers that are responding in and actually cut those ingress roads into the actual fire area. And then we're starting our containment or control lines at that time. That is a huge time delay. You're talking days at some points, depending on the terrain, where we're just trying to cut our way in and we haven't even started building the actual fire line there. So getting this work done ahead of time is helping us on the response for what this is. Okay, let's turn to the map here and I'm going to brief on what these different areas are. So orientation right here. So you have the fire footprint of the picket fire here. Calistoga is down here at the bottom of the map. Picket Road in this area. And then off to the east over here is Etna Springs. You have the town of England right here. And Lake County and Highway 29 up here on the corner of the map there. So what we have done is worked with all of our partners of where these fuel treatments have done, and we've put them all onto one map in here. So as you see the picket fire footprint here, these purple lines that are located in, along with some of these treatment areas here, these are where all the work is actually being done. So you can see it in here where the fire footprint rate is right here. All these purple lines and down here in the Dutch Henry area is where we utilized this playbook during this fire because we already had this work done and we were actually able to use them to get into the fire, use the air tankers to use the retardant to bolster those up and use containment lines. So as you can see into here, a lot of work has been done down here in the Dutch Henry Canyon area. This is located off of Silverado Trail. Here's your Friesen Lakes up here out of Angwin and working out Friesen Lakes, Summit Lake, all the way out to the fire's edge. And then as we come downhill here, This is going down parallel to Ink Grade Road. So these lines in purple were all the ones that were utilized in the fire right here. And then over here on the Oat Hill picket side of lines that we had actually already put in that we didn't have to utilize dozers that were responding in to fight the fire. We were ahead of the game. We were prepared. And that is the important part that we need to take away from here, is that this is not being reactionary. This is us putting planned resources into place, strategic areas, so that we can use the topography for when a fire does start like this, that we are already ahead of the game. And that's important here. So you have to look, well, what if we have another fire? Where are we doing? Where are we prepared? The whole area of Angwin, all these areas right here have either had roadside fuel reduction works, dozer lines put in there, or large polygons like the one that you see right here that is up near the PUC in the Las Posadas Forest, where we've actually went in there and completed shaded fuel breaks, completed prescribed burns, completed pile burning operations, so that we are successful in a future fire in this area. One of our big areas that we are always hypersensitive to is keeping fires out of the Deer Park, Angwin, and Lower Pope Valley areas. So here you'll see lines that come off of Ink Grade Road for a primary line right here where we were able to hold it in the glass fire. We were also successful during the picket. Our alternative line right here, our contingency line right here. So we're always looking that if this fire jumps, if we're challenged by north winds, how are we going to be prepared? We have that put into play. Firewise has been there with us, with the dozers, with the vendors' money to get those dozer lines in. This is our playbook right here if we have to deploy on another fire. All the way down in here to Pope Valley, the Pope Valley Road, a lot of fuels reduction work taken care of here so that the community can exit. So this is one snapshot of the Napa County. We only put this on the map that's relevant to the picket incident to give you an idea of what we've been talking about. How does this visually look? How are we prepared? But throughout the rest of the Napa County, we have identified and completed a lot of work so that we are ready for other fires if they do happen here in Napa County. This preparedness is our top priority. Thank you very much.